Okay, we're recording.
Yay, we're recording.
Okay. Hi. What's
Hello.
what's up, everybody? I already messed up the first line of the show.
Who's the person's?
What's that? Uh, welcome to the special Inktober episode of Fandom Racers. Also, we have a title, and
Yeah.
we probably have a logo at the beginning of this video. Yeah.
As far as we understand, in this video, we now have a name. So there's probably videos before this we won't know what to call ourselves. So
we have a mascot, which is a fly.
oh, I didn't do that one. I was supposed to come up with logos.
We need to change everything about our show now. New name, new mascot, new logo. Trash everything. All right, no, we're keeping it because you did a great job.
Yay, thank you.
All right, so in this episode, a couple of things are going to happen. We're gonna talk about art school a little bit. We're going to talk about some controversial stuff surrounding a
surrounding us.
Art box.
Yeah, art box. Woo!
It's so bright. Color balancing. You washed everything out. Okay, yeah. So I'm not going to show my box again because I have a horrible camera. But you can show your box, and then we're going to unbox the things on camera, and we'll react to them. And we'll be charming the whole time.
I don't know how to be a Havana White.
A Havana White?
Type. I guess a Havana White type.
Is her full name Havana? I've never considered that.
Yeah, her name is Havana White. Did you not know that?
I thought it was just Vanna White.
Okay.
I never once thought about, like, her name's Havana. That's where you get Vanna from. So
I thought,
boxes.
Is it not Havana? Okay, we're going to have to figure this out.
No, I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know what else it could be. But, like, there are just some things where, like, yeah, look it up. Let's find out. I don't know.
Vanna White.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
According to Wikipedia, Vanna Marie White is an American.
Okay, you're right. I said it wrong. I thought her name was Havana.
Well, what is it? Like, what's her actual full? Is that just Vanna?
Vanna White. Vanna.
But it's not short for, like, Havana or something like that.
Let's figure that out.
Sorry, Scoob.
Okay, Raggy. I don't know. Google. What's Vanna short for?
According to Think Baby Names,
No, it's not short for anything.
it is
Oh, it might be short for Yvonne.
also short form of Ivana.
But that's not.
Ivana.
That's not shorter.
Ivana.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
Anyways.
Inktober.
Ta-da!
Okay.
Inktober.
Oh.
I'm going to be Vanna White.
Oh my God.
We'll do
that's
it.
probably-
Second cut.
That's probably copywritten. You can be Havana White.
I'll be Havana White.
There you go.
Yeah, so Justin is a sweetheart, and he thought of me and got me this nice Inktober kit. I thought it was gonna come on my birthday, but guess what? It came today
Not even
or
close.
yesterday.
And we both have been dying to open it since they came in. Mine came in yesterday as well. Um, as soon as it came in and I got my email notification that it was at my post office, I was like, I can probably leave early. I have overtime. And it showed up like at like, no, 2 o'clock. I still had like 3 hours left on my shift. I was like, they're not gonna miss me. I can leave and go home and open it. But no, I was really excited to get this. I already know what's inside because I saw an unboxing before. Manda doesn't know, but I'll be honest with you, I'm still super excited to open this because I know what's in there and I want the things. I want all the stuff. So we've been delaying this long enough. Let's open the boxes already.
Woo! I got my handy dandy safety scissors so I don't cut myself. Children.
I have a box cutter, so I might cut myself. All right, let's open it up.
I'm not good. That's why I have safety scissors. Hold on.
I'll look at it like this. Oh, I forgot about that. This is really good.
Oh, okay. If I get mine open. Yeah.
Light balance. Okay, I need to stop here. I'm sorry. I'm a child. Okay.
It's a big pouch. Yay. And it came with airheads. You see that?
Yes.
Airheads. They're out of control. I can't use that.
That's all right. Okay, cool. So, I forgot about this stuff. This is so cool. All right. I'm so freaking happy with it.
So do you want to start with the pencil pouch?
Yeah. We'll start with whatever you want to start with. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna open mine up here because
we got a really nice pencil pouch. It says Inktober on it. Ooh, it looks like 2 compartments.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it does have 2 compartments, I think.
Whoa, it's super snazzy. Look at that.
So this is probably going to be for like your inks and then the supplies or markers or whatever it is that you get in here. But yeah, this is pretty neat. I've never really used like a pencil case before. I've always used like the slotted ones. I've never had something like this before.
And I had one of these. Yeah, Inktober. I had one of these when I was doing charcoal class. Actually, it's not charcoal class. It's figure drawing class, but we used a lot of charcoal.
They showed us how to make charcoal in that class. It's charcoal. All right.
But yeah, it was, by the end of it, it was super nasty inside and I had to throw it away. But I don't think I'll be keeping charcoal in this one.
What was it made out of? Was it made out of canvas?
No, it was made out of plastic. Like,
oh, okay.
It had that kind of sparkly chrome kind of plastic on it.
I remember that one, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There's something about like whenever you store like pencils or charcoal inside of a pencil case or something like that.
Yeah.
That thing just smells really good after. I don't know what it is about that smell. It just smells like art. It smells like drawing class, and it smells like I'm gonna learn something. I'm gonna be doing a really good job. Makes me happy.
Oh yeah, that's it. For those that don't know, we both went to art school, so that's where we met. Yeah. And it was the best idea I ever had because I met Justin, and I met a lot of other people too, but mostly Justin.
It was mostly me. I was the best one. All right. So which one do you want to move on to?
Let's go to the big bag, and then we'll go to the really nice things at the bottom.
Yeah, to the nitty-gritty.
Ooh, right. Okay. So I got a little box here. It says acrylic ink carbon black. Yeah. I assume that's just an ink bottle.
Yeah, it's just a big old ink bottle, Inktober. Kind of what, it's just pen and paper. I have no idea where my ink bottle went, so I'm really happy I got a new one now.
I rarely use Indian ink, but I have done it before. Especially, I've helped Justin do some inking for just kind of throwaway, well, not throwaway. They're very nice pieces, but
you can say it, Amanda. Suck.
I, I haven't helped you on anything that you've published. So
No, not yet. Well, you've written some stuff, and I guess we can talk about that as well. That's also an option.
We'll talk about it in the sequel.
All right. Airhead, of course.
Oh, well, I was pulling out more ink.
I'm just here for the candy, bro. All right, so yeah, we got some inks. It looks like blues and purple, maybe, and like a yellow or orange.
Okay, let me see yours, because mine are not. Okay, you have blue, and I have yellow, and I have red, and I have orange. You have blue, you have purple, maybe?
I think it's purple.
Yeah, and a yellow.
And a yellow. It looks like an orangey yellow, maybe.
It's like a neon hot. I'll not hot, cool, like a like a Tinkerbell yellow. That's the best I could think of.
This seems kind of mustard to me. I'm colorblind, by the way. If nobody knows that.
It's leaning towards green, as far as I saw.
Yeah, I feel like
Bring it back.
To me. Hold on.
Yeah, it's leaning towards green. So I have a yellow that's leaning towards red.
That's interesting. I can see the difference on camera, but I can't see it in person, I bet.
Huh.
Like over here, I can see like, oh yeah, that does lean towards green. But like looking right at it, couldn't tell you. Outstanding.
Well, maybe it just distorts it enough.
Probably. In any case, these are cool colors. I'm happy with purple.
Yeah.
Purple.
Do you know what watercolor inks are? I've never heard of this.
Wait, are these watercolor inks?
That's what it says, watercolor ink.
Aqua ink. Wait, does yours say watercolor or aqua?
It says watercolor. Well, the big word says watercolor, aqua ink. Then the bottom it says watercolor ink.
Oh, no, I don't know. I guess it's like a water soluble ink, which is just like liquid watercolor, I guess.
Well, I mean, you don't have to mix it.
Yeah, you know, I guess you can dilute it if you want washes, but for the most part, yeah, it's just that's really cool. I didn't know about that.
I didn't either. That's really I'm excited. I love watercolors.
And also, that's really cool that we like everybody gets like maybe like slightly different colors. I thought everybody was getting the same colors, but no, this is really cool. Like it individualizes your art a little bit more based on your tool selection. Cool. All right. I like that. So what do you want to move on to?
Let's save the pamphlets for later. Let's pull out this pen that's really nice.
Oh, it's
not the white one.
Oh, yeah, the bag.
The bag one. I don't know. It's all color. Is that Chinese or Japanese?
I am completely ignorant about what this could be, but it's.
It's nice. Japanese. I see like Japanese characters at the bottom.
It's Copic.
Copic.
Or Copic. I never know how to pronounce it. I've heard it like both ways, but I'm never sure who's right.
Cool. Is this like a water-based pigment ink? Oh, I totally thought about buying some of these. I think on the sketchbook on Facebook, we are both on a sketchbook what do you call it?
Oh, a group.
A page, a group.
Facebook group. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're both on a Facebook sketchbook group, and a man, he had recorded a video of him using one of these Copic markers, and I was in love with it. So I asked him, "What are you using?" And he said a Copic, and I'm like, I'm the luckiest person right now.
This is really cool. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. I wanna try it. Hold on. I
Hey, all right.
this didn't come in it, so it's my own stash. Let's see.
And oh, and by the way, if you want to see what it looks like, it's a brush pen, so you can go from thin to thick, like or fine to bold lines, relatively easily with the same tool. Whoa, that's really
right?
cool. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Let me draw like a flower or something.
So these are really nice for just illustration or calligraphy or whatever it is you want to do. Very excited about that. I already have something like this, and I think I've used these in a couple of my videos for lunchtime draw time. And these are some of my favorite tools to use, portable ink stations, basically.
Yay.
That's very.
I don't know how to control my line weights yet, but I will definitely tell you how it goes.
Right. And then Copics are really grand. Yeah.
Goes in my little satchel.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. We're already using.
Woo!
I think that's big enough for all three inks too. That'll be nice.
Really? Oh, it's probably, yep. Okay, let's pull out this this nice white marker right here. I am absolutely ecstatic about this. I don't know how to say this. I always call it a popsicle. But
yeah,
it's pretty much just a paint pen.
Mm-hmm.
And according to a few videos I've watched, it can pretty much draw on anything.
Yeah.
I have one, and that is a lie.
What doesn't it draw on?
Paper. What it does do really,
yeah,
it does fabrics really well.
Yeah.
So anything that's really rough, so I'm sure watercolor paper would be nice, but I was using it on my sketchbook. I'm sorry, anyone who follows like the sketchbook project, I'm super late.
Not as late as I was
using it. Well,
yeah.
I was using it on pieces like right here.
Okay, yeah.
And it just it wasn't flowing right, so I had to use acrylic paint.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've never used one of these, and I've heard similar things like these draw on anything. They're pretty much opaque, right? Like as far as like covering each other up, that's supposed to be.
It is very close to like having watercolor.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you mix a white watercolor, it's like that soupy stuff. It pretty much it's exactly that. They put a white watercolor inside of a pen.
Okay, yeah, and then you get the extra little ink can mixer in there. Pretty sweet. Yeah. And I've heard these pronounced Posca markers.
Posca. Popsicles.
Posca or Pasca? It's like one of those two, I think.
Posca, Pacasca, let's call the whole thing off.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pull out my Airheads now, but I'm not going to eat it. It's cherry.
Cherry? Oh, I got cherry too. How about that?
Oh. Product placement.
Thanks, Airheads.
Sorry, this is not a product placement. We do not endorse Airheads.
I endorse Airheads.
Okay, I guess the little pen. No, not a pen.
A little brush. Yeah.
A little brush.
Mine looks already kind of frayed a little bit. I think it got bent in that bag.
Yeah,
But-
mine is too.
Oh, yeah. Tip, by the way, putting these like just the hairs, bristles or whatever in boiling water does work. It does straighten them out. I tried that already, and that's BT dubs.
I didn't know that I was gonna put oil on mine.
I mean, whatever works.
I guess. Oh, here's the top that is supposed to be on the brush.
Yours came with a top?
Yeah, it just kind of crawled out at me.
Uncanny. I didn't get one. It's gonna arrive in a separate shipment.
Nothing for you. Is it not like at the bottom, like just
There it
scratched
is.
in there? Yeah.
It's all the way at the bottom, right where it belongs, off of the brush. All right, good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You also got this nice little sticker.
I'm so excited about this. It's gonna go right in the back of my phone. I'm so happy. Or computer, I don't know. Probably phone. It looks cool. It's neat.
Oh, my phone. It can go on my pop top. Look at that.
Does it fit perfectly? Pretty close?
Not perfectly.
Well, cut it down.
I can cut. I'm cutting you stiff.
All right.
Let's see. Do you want to talk about the calendar or
Oh, that's right. It comes with a calendar. Oh.
or do you want to talk about the nice things at the bottom?
The pads.
Yeah.
I guess we can talk about the pads a little bit.
Okay.
Lennox cotton. So
Ooh.
there's this particular pad, which is designed to withstand both delicate and bold impressions. This sturdy substrate, it's a new word for me, was our 100% cotton paper to be produced by an American mill. Let's see, color, charcoal, whatever. Basically, this is multimedia paper. And there are 15 sheets, so we can't really do Inktober with this one. Unless we use
Double-sided.
double-sided, and then we'll be missing one day. We'll be all right. Which actually you can't double-side it because it's only one side grain. The other side is
Oh, that's
smooth.
oh yeah. Oh well, it's something nice.
It's pretty neat. Like I'd never say no to like a travel sketchbook. Like those are always fun to have. 100% cotton too, so like do whatever you want on this bad baby. It's a pretty decent size too. It's, like I said, good for travel. Like just keep it in your pocket. Moving on to the next one. Yeah.
What is this? I don't know what this is, but it looks amazing, and I want to open it.
So I'll get my box cutter again and open it gingerly.
I only have safety scissors.
This is a plum chester or plume chester. I don't know how it's pronounced.
My safety scissors don't do this. Plume chester? What's a plume chester? Is that just a fancy sketchbook that I've never heard of?
Essentially, yeah. It's just it's a sketchbook that has it's supposed to be like high quality paper, I guess. I think, and it's a brand of sketchbook that.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, it's probably got some, 48 blank pages, by the way.
Oh, I love
And then it
it.
says, Inktober right there on the back. Yeah. So I think one of the things that it's kind of supposed to do is like it's supposed to be one of the few sketchbooks that like lays flat. It doesn't kind of like fold over like a lot of sketchbooks do. Um, designed for artists by artists, kind of a sketchbook where it's like, what are some of the problems we have for sketchbooks? Really, just the main one is that the page folds over kind of weird. And so they fixed that with this. There's a couple of brands that do that, but I guess Plumchester is one of the more like premier brands that is out there.
I love it. Like that Bristol paper feel is just I love it.
Yeah, so this is really nice paper. It's got a good grain to it. It's very smooth. Ideal for inking. For inking, you're gonna kind of want like a flat surface. If you're not familiar with what inking is, or and we'll talk a little bit about what Inktober is as well, because I just realized we said Inktober about 50 times. We didn't really explain what it was. For anybody
What's
who doesn't know,
Inktober, Justin?
everyone knows. Stupid. But no, it's this is an ideal surface for ink. This is partially why like comic books are drawn on Bristol board. It's very smooth. The ink just flows over it. You don't get like a whole lot of weird grain on it. You get very intentional marks, and everything looks the way you wanted it to look, kind of. So really excited to use this. I guess we can talk a little bit about Inktober and what it is when we're talking about the calendar.
Woo!
That is also completely washed out on my screen. Look at it. Look at it. It's looking at you. All right. So what is Inktober? The gist of it is just make stuff with ink. It doesn't even have to be physical ink. It can be digital ink, so long as you're following prompts. And you do it for 31 days, all in October. It was started by Jake Parker. We'll get to that later. But yeah, basically, you take a pen and paper and you just you do something based on that day's prompts. There's a cat that's very displeased back there. He knows about Jake Parker. He's not happy about what he did, but that's fine. We'll talk about that later. The cat can join in.
Let me go. Let her out.
But yeah, so that's really all Inktober is. You're making stuff based on prompts, and you're just using black and white stuff if you more comfortable with that, or if you want to use color, obviously that's also encouraged. Whatever. So it's really just an excuse to make stuff, right? And that's kind of my entire takeaway from what Inktober is. Like just give me an excuse to make stuff every day. That's really cool. You opened our oh my god.
I opened it. I'm a bad person.
Oh my god.
I opened my Christmas gifts.
How dare you? Ooh. Mine was leaking.
Oh no! Is it broken?
Dangerous. No. I don't think so. Okay. So
back to who? Jake Johnson? What?
Yep, Jake Johnson.
No, Jake Parker.
Jake Parker. All right. So some people have. Okay. I thought I got purple ink on stuff that I didn't, so I'm okay. So Jake Parker is the like I said, I think the founder or the creator of the concept of Inktober. Essentially, this is what happened, and I won't get into like taking sides right away. I'm sure there's a lot more of this story that I don't know. I don't want to get too much into, like I said, like the taking sides stuff. But basically, there was this guy. His name's Alfonso Dunn. He created a book a few years ago. I don't remember exactly how many years ago. That is called Drawing with Pen and Ink or something like that, or paper and pen or something. I don't remember what it's called right now. But essentially, it's a book about inking and how to properly use a pen to create different textures, how to create depth. And from what I've seen, it's a really interesting looking book. I thought about getting it for a little while. I just decided not to. I don't know. I probably bought some comic books with that money or something. But it's a really in-depth book about creating art with just pen and paper, and that's all you're using. And it looks like a really good book, but like I said, I didn't get it. I kind of flipped through it a little bit, and it looks interesting. So probably about a month ago, maybe less, Jake Parker released some pictures of his upcoming book called Inktober Every Day of the Year, or something like that. And you can kind of flip through that book. I think it's on Amazon. There's like a couple of images on Amazon. And then if you go to Jake Parker's Instagram, you can see where he kind of flips through the book, like a physical copy of the book. The controversy comes from the fact that there are a lot of things in Jake Parker's book that are arguably lifted from Alfonso Dunn's book. From what I understand, this is just from what I understand, Jake Parker has mentioned Alfonso's book before, so he can't claim he didn't know it exists. He can't claim, some of that stuff of or ignorance, basically. He knew it was out there, and he's even talked about like some of the stuff in the book before, I think. But he didn't say like, hey, I got some of these ideas from Alfonso. He didn't contact Alfonso and say, hey, can I collaborate with you on this book or something like that? You already did a book like this. Can we work on a book together? So Jake Parker is now kind of under fire for, essentially the accusation is plagiarism. He stole a lot of work. And it's not stuff that you can be like, that's like one or two things. It's basically every lesson in the book is slightly worded differently. So like creating different, like varying strokes in one book is called varying line work in another book. But it's essentially the same thing. If you read like the instructions, if you look at the diagrams that are drawn, the texture examples that are given, it's essentially the same thing. It's not like photocopied, but it's the same approach to teaching, and it's the same lesson basically. So my initial thought to it was, okay, but surely Alfonso doesn't have the rights to the idea of ink and paper, right? Like, approaching stuff like printmaking and stuff like that, that's been going on since, the 1400s or whatever. It's been going on forever. But, you do have to look, I guess, at the way he presented his work and the way he chose to teach his work, and then the way it was lifted by Jake Parker. In Jake Parker's defense, I don't know if he himself was the one who like curated the book and was like, hey, I put this book together myself, or was it a team of people that put it together? Was it publishers? Was it the same publisher as Alfonso, and that's where they got most of the ideas? I don't know. Like I said, that's kind of why I'm not taking sides on this explicitly. I'm just kind of telling you what I know about it, what I've heard about it. And that's essentially all I know about the situation. What I'm walking away with is like I said before, what Inktober is really all about, what I think it should be about in an art community, is to make stuff. Just any excuse. I'm not endorsing plagiarism by I think supporting art snacks in this box. I'm not saying like it's cool to steal people's work or whatever, but I think it's an interesting concept, and I think you can separate the creation from the creator if you absolutely have to. And you and I have had this discussion before about H.P. Lovecraft talking about Lovecraft Country, which is still a mouthful for me. But you have to take away some of the good from and from what right now is just the alleged bad from Jake Parker, and that's kind of where I fall in this situation. So what do you think about all of this stuff?
Well, I mean, it makes me think about this post that I saw recently that there was a girl on the sketchbook page. She was asking about how people felt about using references from other sources. And I think basically, especially for artwork, if you're using references, that's amazing. Always use references.
Yeah.
You shouldn't go into something and expect an amazing masterpiece without a reference or two.
Right.
But it all depends on how you use them. If you're doing it pretty much beat for beat, I mean, what is the purpose besides pretty much plagiarism? But if you are changing it up and you have a different view on it, so you're trying to represent your personal expectations of something, your concept, you're trying to tell people what you are thinking, then that is different than taking something else that somebody else was thinking. So it is, and I don't know exactly. I haven't seen either of the books, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you that if there's a similar way of teaching it, then yeah, I mean, you can't really just dismiss it and say, oh, it's plagiarism. Well, yeah, because everybody has to do it that way. But if it is pretty much like, oh, I drew a bunny, now you're going to draw a bunny kind of thing. Like, yeah, so it all is in context of, are you trying to represent your own wisdom? Are you trying to just copy somebody else's wisdom?
Yeah. Okay. I agree with that. Um, yeah. I mean it's a tricky subject. I can't necessarily say I blame anybody for like I guess not participating in the Inktober per se, right? But
Mm.
you know, if they feel, and a lot of people are just going to make up their mind one way or another right off the bat, knee jerk reaction, guilty or innocent, and then they're just gonna stick to it. But I don't know. For me, it's like it doesn't affect me. I guess you know,
Yeah.
I don't mean to seem callous about it or like I don't care about the I guess moral correctness of influencers, but at the same time, they don't influence me that much, you know.
I think Inktober. Das ist Inktober, ja.
Das ist gut, ja.
Inktober has expanded from the original like creators, and it's not really just about them, it's about the whole community now. So I don't think I was ever involved with who was coming up with this. I just saw my friends doing ink pictures
Yeah.
every day, and I was like, that's something I want to do. So it's not really something that I'm going to protest.
Yeah.
I'm going to draw these pictures anyways. It's just nice to have references, or not references, but prompts. I like prompts.
Prompts are
Pretty
neat.
much, yeah. Where's my prompt book? I will tell a story.
Okay.
Once I find my prompt book, wherever it went.
All
Do
right.
a tap dance, Justin.
So I will say that I agree with you. These things do tend to evolve beyond the person who came up with the concept. I had no idea who Jake Parker was until maybe like a year or two ago when I bothered to look into Inktober stuff. And before that, I just thought it was like some guy's idea, somebody's idea, that just kind of, grew among their friends, and then that was it. And then that person never really tried to do anything more than share that idea, a common theme between art friends. Prompts. What a concept, So that's kind of just what I thought it was. I didn't know it was like from an actual like a dude, and then he made it a thing himself, or whatever happened there. Um, but yeah, so like I said, I don't. I'm not strictly influenced by him or anything. It's just that idea was good, and other people joined in on it. Eventually, it got to me. I heard about it, and I was like, yeah, I'll join in on that, and that was it. It kind of independent of whatever he does or doesn't do now. That concept lives on, and it becomes whatever the community decides it is.
Yeah, and that's what I just wanted to talk about, how prompts have really kind of, if you're ever having any art block, mm-hmm. prompts are definitely the way to get you out of that funk, because it makes you kind of sit there and think about, oh, what would I do to represent, I don't know, Cage? And it kind of saved my, I guess, want to do art. Because when I got out of college from art school, I had done so much, I guess, unwanted prompts and unwanted concepts that I was totally burned out. And I escaped, and I was like, I really don't ever want to do any art ever again. And that's how I felt. I'm not going to hide it. And I know that if somebody else is feeling this too, don't feel like you're never going to do it again. You will. You just need to take some time. And the thing that really pulled me out of that is this prompt book. Like, I couldn't think of anything creative for a very long time. And I saw this in a Barnes and Nobles. I'm sure they still sell them. But I saw it and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. I might not ever use it, but I'm going to try it. And just everything came flowing out. And this is my most proudest achievement. Because I connect it with that time where I was not very successful, or at least I felt like I wasn't very successful. And then I got this and everything just started clicking. So if you ever feel like you aren't creative, I encourage you to just look up some prompts. And it doesn't matter if you draw something from the prompt and then you're like, oh, I hate it. Just keep doing it. It will click eventually. You'll get back into the swing of it. But yeah, that's my story.
Good story. Yeah. I think most people that get out of college that go for like a passion purpose, they're like, oh, I love doing this thing, or I love studying or learning about this, or whatever. They get out of college and they feel like, I never want to see that again. Because I don't know if it's like the magic of what specifically is that gets like sucked out of that thing that you're learning, or it just gets broken down and reassembled so many times that like it loses all of its mystery. There's this thing that happens with me, I love music, and that's kind of those are my prompts for my my sketchbook, that project that we're doing. And there's this thing where like I'll get obsessed with a song, and I'll just fall in love with a song, and I'll just listen to it all day and all night, as often as I can. But for some reason, the instant I learn, and this is really only true, I guess, with music that has lyrics, but once I learn all of the lyrics to that song and I can sing along with it, I suddenly lose interest in it. I don't know what it is, but like I'll hear this song, and I will learn all of the lyrics either by listening to it or looking it up, and then within like a couple of days, I just it gets played less and less and less until eventually I'll listen to it later. I'll skip it. I'm like, I've already heard that song. I know all the things he says. I'll skip it. But like, I guess there is something to that. Like, once you understand everything about something, it just kind of loses its luster. And I think that's what happened for me with art at school. And we had to do so many different types of art that, first of all, and this is kind of my big complaint about what art school is. It depends very heavily on your professors and what their art style is, because that's kind of what you're going to get pushed into. Whether they mean to or not, it's probably going to happen. But yeah, that was kind of my big deal with it, was that you're going to get pushed into something that you're not interested in, but the professor, your teacher feels is really the only valid art pursuit because it's their art pursuit. Um, so
I mean,
like yeah,
I had teachers that it wasn't their art pursuit, but they saw that I could do something. Like I started off as a 2D artist.
mhm,
I was a painting emphasis, and later on in my senior years, I started taking my 3D classes because I was trying to delay that as much as possible. But I started doing 3D work, and I got encouraged to keep doing 3D work, and I just didn't enjoy it.
yeah,
So that's where my last year, people saw that I was good at it, and they kept pushing me like, you should do more 3D, and I was like, okay, I'll do more 3D if that's what you think I'm good at, but I don't really enjoy it. And
yeah,
that's where, like, I think when people are trying to be encouraging, they try to like take all of your work into consideration and say, well, even though like you might not like doing it, you're really good at it,
yeah.
and you should expand on it. And I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah, but and that's something I feel like they may not have considered as much as they probably should have, is just because you're good at something doesn't mean you're going to do it again because you don't enjoy it. You have to consider, like, well, where do your interests lie, and I want to make you better at where you're going to want to put the most time in. I'm not gonna push you into something that you're just not going to want to do once you get out of school anyway.
Yeah.
So I always felt like I was pushed more towards like uh, non-objective abstract art, which is just colors essentially. And it's if you're looking at like Rothko paintings, which are color field, and it's just a big square of color on a canvas, or if you're looking at Jackson Pollock, that's non-objective um, abstract art, because it's just colors and paint very much being themselves. They're not anything in particular. They're on the canvas. And I thought those could be very beautiful. I loved Rothko's paintings. They don't mean anything to me necessarily because I'm colorblind, you know. But no, I don't know what it is. I find them very soothing. There's something about the way he puts them. He applies the paint, and it's just very simple stuff. I find that stuff beautiful, but that's not what I wanted to pursue. That's not where my heart was. My heart was more in illustration. I grew up loving comic book art. I wanted to paint like Alex Ross. If anybody doesn't know who Alex Ross is, if you've ever seen a painting that looks photorealistic of Batman, that's probably Alex Ross. If you've seen one that looks like Spider-Man, Superman, Thor, Captain America, whatever, he's very prolific, and I think he's doing like every cover for um, I think it's the top three selling Marvel books right now, which is like Immortal Hulk, Spider-Man, and Captain America. But he's very sought after, and a very well-to-do, I guess.
He's the fancy one.
He's one of the few comic book artists I can say is like, that dude's probably doing all right, you know. He can't be cheap. I can't imagine he's cheap. Um, but anyway, so yeah, that's where I wanted to go. Like, I wanted to learn how to paint, maybe not photorealistically, but to convey depth more. And I wanted to learn how to paint the world that I could see. Um, and well, and don't get me wrong, like I had great professors. You know, I had Andrew Martin, even Christy Blizzard was very encouraging. She was, um, you know, one of the nicest professors I think we had. She
Oh
was very
yeah.
kind. Jared Applegate was a TA, I think, but like, you know,
I didn't have him.
he didn't have he was a real nice guy, and he encouraged me. Like, just you know, I see that you want to do surrealist art. You know, that's kind of what I see you pushing towards. Is that something that interests you? And I'm like, yeah, that's you know more or less what I'm kind of aiming for. He's like, all right, cool. And so you know, we worked together on that, and I got better at it. I don't think I got good at it, but I got less bad at it, and that's kind of what I was shooting for. Just get less bad at stuff, and yeah, so that's you know, so yeah, you have like some professors that do that, and then you have other professors that kind of just like you know, that's fine that you like that stuff, but you should really you know maybe try this out, you know, because I think that's probably, and I didn't. Part of the reason I didn't want to do that is I felt like that's what a lot of people were doing. And it's not that I didn't want to do it if other people were doing it. I just didn't want to do it only because other people were doing it. And I felt like that's kind of why I was getting pushed towards it. But like, well, your classmates are, you know, they're having success with abstract art or, you know, non-objective abstract art. I'm like, yeah, but that's them. They're good at it. I don't, you know, that's not who I am. That's not my direction. Um, and that's something I think that you said just now is pointing you in the right direction, or going in a direction that's even worth that you feel is worth your artistic endeavors. So, but that's me. That's art school for me in a nutshell. You're gonna learn stuff whether you want to or not.
And I mean, probably the one thing that I escaped my senior year with was printmaking. I think it was something I also, growing up, I really liked illustrations, like book illustrations. I don't really have a set illustrator that I liked. I know that I really enjoyed like old kind of Grimm's fairy tales kind of etchings.
Oh, yeah.
And I always wanted to be able to do that. But when it came to like my my first year of like what do I want to do in art, I went into the printmaking lab and I saw that they had etching acid. I was like, I'm not touching it. So,
Yeah.
so that was one of those that I waited on again. And finally, when I was in it, I just enjoyed it so much. And I kind of regretted not making that my emphasis, even though like I probably wouldn't have met you. So. But yeah.
So I remember etching with acid, and I hated it. It was awful. So okay, so the memories that I have of it though, it wasn't in the same class that you and I had together. It was my very first printmaking class, and but it wasn't like printmaking, you know, 101 or whatever. It was like printmaking 1430 or something. It was like it was like a slightly upper level class, and I to this day I don't know why they signed me up for it because I wasn't ready for it. My registration, like, lining up the plate and all that stuff with the paper was always awful. I think the only time that it was okay was whenever you helped me or like a classmate helped me. I don't know what I've got going on besides being colorblind that I can't line up lines correctly whenever I print things. But apparently that's also hooray! Thanks, school, for teaching me that. But I tried it and I could never get it to I could never get the acid to eat evenly. I don't know what it was, you know, because we had those copper plates that were coated with wax, and then you would just kind of etch away the wax, dip it in acid, bring it out, spray it down with vinegar, water, basically, let it sit, dry it off, rinse it off, dip it back in acid if it's not ready. Do the same. You have to do this process that takes like 3 days. And I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. I hate this place. It smells like feet in this warehouse, in the printmaking lab that we have. because there's just vinegar all over the place and nobody cleans up after themselves, and it's the worst. So I have really bad memories of being there like at 3 a.m, dipping a plate in acid, looking at it and being like, good enough. And I didn't even print it. I was just like, that's fine. I don't care. And I put it in a box in my what's it called, locker. And I came in the next day at 9 or 8 or whatever my class was, and I was like, listen, man, I'm gonna print it, but I don't care what it looks like. Like, technically, it was fine. It wasn't bad. There were some parts that kind of bled a little bit with the ink that I rolled on there, but like the print turned out fine. There was actually a few prints that I really liked how they turned out, but it wasn't worth it for me. Like, I don't know why they this whole tangent of like printmaking. I have memories of certain classes that I'm like, I hate this place so much. I have memories though of class and being like, this is why I came to college. This is why I wanted to come to Texas Tech. This right here is what, my whole life has been leading to this class. And I have memories like that of printmaking too.
I know you had taken that one advanced drawing class, I think it was, and you were just ecstatic. You're so happy. I'd never seen you so happy in class. Like,
so to give you guys like a fair idea of what it was like for me to take that drawing class, it was like if I just ate this Sour Punch straw right now.
It must taste like success. Yeah.
I don't know who came up with Sour Punch straws. Give them whatever they want. Nobel Peace Prize, Man of the Year, Woman of the Year, whatever of the year, money
of the year,
drugs, I don't care. They earned it. This is delicious. Good job. You're the best one, man. Anyway, so I don't remember what I was talking about.
That advanced drawing class.
It was the best experience of my life, my artistic career. We should probably wrap up this episode. I'll talk about it next time. But anyway, so that's art school. That's what Inktober is. That's what was in our Inktober boxes. And coming in October, we're going to be making Inktober stuff. So stay tuned for Fish, which is the first one.
What? I didn't even look.
I have some H.P. Lovecraft stuff ideas for that one. I'm excited about it.
Cool.
I've still got candy stuck in my tooth. I'm trying my dangest to get it out. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video.
I was going to I was gonna just take over the end while you were chewing on things, but then I choked. You're magical. You made me cough.
We came in on a high note. We're going out on a high note. That's all right. All right, everybody. That's the show. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. Thanks for sending me money. If you
Wonder.
We will see you next time on Fandom Racers.
Woo!
Yeah.
Goodbye.